So I'll call the meeting to order. And who do we have here? Bob, Cindy, Janet. Is that Joy?
Joy, yes. Joy's here.
Wrong button. Yes.
And
Joy, yeah.
And Francine.
And anybody else?
Francine.
Tammy Willumis is here. Are you here as a guest, Tammy, or are you here as a member?
No, she's here as
I'm a guest.
Yes.
I'm a speaker.
And I'm Virginia. I'm here, Francine. Francine is here.
Oh, Francine is here too. I don't see her necessarily.
We have a quorum.
Yeah.
More than a quorum. So we have a couple new members, but I guess they're not here tonight. Barbara Szymborski was supposed to be from the finance, but they've been working so many hours, so many nights. And then we have a person, and she just got named to it, from the Housing Authority. And her first name is Sierra. And I was hoping maybe she would be here tonight. So as long as we have a guest, have you got something to report to us, Tammy, or ask us? Or are you just here?
Well, I saw that update on the progress of previous projects was on there, and the Clerk Chapman House was on there. Yeah. So I assumed that I should get on there and give you guys an update.
Okay, good, because then I'm going to ask you to talk about something else too.
Oh, okay. Tammy Willumis, 298 College Highway, and president for the Southampton Historical Society. And we have completed the roofing project with CDA Roofing. That was actually finished just before Thanksgiving. These guys came in, crew of 11, and I've never seen people work. So they all knew exactly what they had to do, went in, did it. It was so professional, and it was great. It was really worth the money. We had a couple issues come up that we needed to re-plywood all of the barn and carriage house. When they took everything off, the guys were falling through into the roof, into the attic. So they were able to get us a really good price, because at that time COVID was happening and all of wood prices were jacked up. And they stepped up their game, and they helped us out at costs. And like I say, it's done. The gutters are on. They removed all the debris. There was an old chimney on there that was tilting over, and they're like, do you want us to fix that? Or it's like, can you take it down? They're like, yep, they took care of that. They also worked on the peak of the house that is near the kitchen area. We had some beautiful pine roof ridge boarding that was given to us from Barry Cyril, and we painted that up, and they put it up for us, so we didn't even have to go up there to do that. So we were very grateful for that. So the second part of the project was the foundation, and we kind of hit some snags and some problems. And it's not even 6 months that the project has been completed, according to Shelby Howland, and the foundation's already cracked in several places. So we have contacted lawyer. We've contacted the civil engineer, or a building engineer, civil, which one is it? Anyways, we've had to reach out and contact several different people in regards to this. And we wrote up a letter, presented it to, had it certified mailed to the village carpentry, and the actual owner, Winter, got back to us. And he did not know anything was happening. He was kept in the dark. So he came and met with us and saw the issues that were happening. And he is going to come back and redo all the work, still at the same prices that we were quoted. So they showed up, or he showed up with his with Winter's worker today, and they are going to proceed to jack up the barn and carriage house again and fix the foundation and put the correct sills in and hook the building down, because that was not done. Our building inspector was not happy with several things that were not completed. I'm very grateful that Ron stood by us and pointed a few things out. He actually went to the house a couple times when we had those big windstorms to check on it, make sure it was still up. And so Winter's back, and he's gonna try to resolve everything. We're getting more wood brought in, and hopefully once that sill is put back in and the house is secured, the foundation is secured to the barn, we'll be able to start putting the siding back up. So you will see some people still there working away. We had a little bit of trouble also with, we tried clearing some of the back area for the equipment to get in, and apparently it wasn't enough. So they proceeded to take down a bunch of trees and push all the debris onto Don Warren's property. So we had a gentleman come in and volunteer, fortunately, and helped our curator, Heidi, and pulled by hand all the debris off of Don's property. And we've got it in a composting area right now. And we're still working on that, but we got a lot of it. They got a lot of it off of his property. And the concern we had is not only that it was going over onto Don's property, but it was also kind of blocking the culvert that's right there. So that's fixed up. We got to clean it up still. It needs to be raked out really, really in there. The ground is still going to be very uneven, and it won't be seeded for quite a while. But at least we got the wood and the branches and the vines and stumps that were all pushed over onto his property off. We're still good with the money that is in in the account for us, and the DIY mobile box people have been really good, and they had given us a discount at the beginning, and they're just keeping the discount for us, so we're very appreciative of that. I don't know, do you have any questions or anything that specific that you would like to know?
For the committee's edification, I was present at the negotiating meeting to represent CPC, and just mainly was just there as a presence. I asked a couple of questions about their qualifications, but we were represented there by me.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Well, Tammy, also tell us about Celebrate Southampton and see what we can do to help.
Well, we are still in the beginnings of planning. We had a very successful meeting the other day. We have another one set up for the April 27th at night. We're going to have the Zoom information. I'm going to put it out on the My Town Government website again, because that was very successful. August 13th, Friday night, we have a band coming in. So we're very excited about that. The church previously last year was going to do a dinner beforehand so that people could have dinner and then do tours of the church and the art and everything that was there. We've taken away the art piece. We want to really focus on that next year. But the church is kind of playing back and forth of doing like a to-go dinner or something outside beforehand, so then people can then walk over to the pavilion and be able to enjoy the band there. The next day, the 14th, we are going to, right now we're talking about a memory hour, and we know the Council of Aging, the senior center is closed, and we don't want to jeopardize anybody that may not have been able to get vaccinated or any of that. So we are kind of looking at possibly having our memory hour out in the church parking lot. And then from there, we'll have a parade going over to the pavilion. So they would go from the church, they would leave and go down College Highway, down Clark, and then down East Street and pull in. And a couple people have brought up the idea of our title is Let's Celebrate Southampton, with celebrate all big letters. And we're contemplating even the parade having people do floats or decorating their bicycles or wagons. Because when we approached and asked about Memorial Day and finding out possibly that it's not going to happen, this would be a fabulous way of still getting people out there and doing stuff and showing, because there's going to be a big difference from May to August of everything going on. Have our parade come over. We're still going to do a luncheon. We do not know exactly if we're going to have to-go meals for people to purchase or have, or if everybody's going to bring their own. We're still working on that. But we have several different groups that have already signed up for 15, 20, and 30-minute sessions of either singing, doing music, speaking. And one of the speaking ones, we may have the Citizen of the Year award presented there. So we're very excited about that. Even if they do the presentation at the Memorial Day parade, if they have it, we would still like them to come back and celebrate that person that is receiving this award with everybody there. And there's a couple activities that we're still hoping. They threw out the possibility of the pickleball. We don't know where that stands, if it's going to be done, the new court, or so I'm hoping Randall will be able to give me updates on that, and the East Street Bridge. I don't know how that's going to play into all of this. So I'm trying to work with Randall on that. And what else? We did receive a Southampton Cultural Council money donation, among a few others. And their only stipulation was that we don't have a bounce house again this year, because they don't want the kids all bouncing into each other. So we asked about possibly doing the obstacle course that they have, and that will keep people individual going and playing, and so that we have entertainment for the young kids. We have entertainment going on for the teenagers, basically, and we also have for us older people. And we would still like to have the organizations have a booth. We're going to invest and get a big tent, so we don't have to worry about each group coming with their own tent for shade, because, you know, whether it's hot out in August or whether it's raining, we want to celebrate. We want to be outside. So if you guys would like to have a table and you can talk more about what you guys do, or give out information, or it's really up to whatever you would like to do towards the event. I mean, we want the organizations to participate. We want them. How else are other people going to know, oh, I could get involved in this. Oh, I like this. I could do that. And, you know, Joy, you know, you're a perfect example. You know, you're on here, you're doing this kind of stuff, but you're also seeing, hey, you know, the select board needs people. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a way to bring in more people to see what the town does have to offer.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Any questions?
This is Janet. I don't have questions, but can we be provided a link or a person to contact for the Citizen of the Year award if you choose to do that? Because we haven't done that in the last couple of years, and I just wonder how we will.
Well, the Legion is taking care of that. So that would be Mark Nichols is leading that up. So you would need to contact him, I believe, on that. Oh, Francine?
There is, I believe Lucy posted it on the town website, the application form. So other people can access, you can fill it out and follow the instructions of where to return it.
Perfect.
Where is
I think there's going to be some, we've had, you know, I can think of a few people myself this year. I think it's a very unique time, so.
Where is it on the town website then?
I haven't looked at it myself. I can look while we're on the phone here.
Okay, no,
Leave it on the
I
first
couldn't find
page.
it. I went to look for it. I couldn't find it. But Lucy also said you could pick one up at the town hall.
Right.
yeah, Mr. LaTour was the person we did in the past. Is he still involved?
Who was?
Mr. LaClure?
Yes.
He's very sick.
Yeah, he was the one who's done it in the past, and I just don't know if he's doing it now.
He is still part of the Legion, but Mark said that he's been very, very sick, and that Mark has been taking over trying to do
I see.
the work that
I hear
needs.
that.
But I've usually gone through Lucy. Maybe I can just give her a call and see what she says to do. Thank you.
Yep. I believe it was also on the Southampton community Facebook page.
Facebook page.
I think she posted or had me share it out to there. I've been sharing a bunch of stuff. There was a new housing grant thing that came through for people that need help that Tim Sini and I were working on, or Jim Sini. Tim Sini's the contractor. Jim is the finance guy. So, you know, I've been seeing tons of stuff go out on the Facebook page.
I think that Citizen of the Year award is a fantastic thing. I think we need to continue on with that.
Well, yeah, it's always been the Legion.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think, you know, I think we have to work with them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Tammy? Well,
Can I just applaud Tammy and also Becky? They are really onto this, and like Janet said, some of these things are so critical for our whole town.
when we have a really good town, and there are a lot of things to be offered. And I just, new families coming in, they only see little parts of it. They get involved with the sports, or they get involved with the Boy Scouts, and the parents, as they get older and the kids get older, they need to know more about the organizations that the town has to offer, that we do need help in these different departments, and the boards, the committees, all of that. And I really think this Celebrate Southampton is the place to really push it, and because everybody's going to be so positive at this event. And the other we were talking, just throwing things out there about possibly have a raffle or something, and we have had so many people donate raffle prizes already, whether it's gift certificates to a restaurant, or the bottles. We had a bottle of V1 vodka given to us. I mean, it's a bottle. And just the different things that people are like, I want to contribute, count me in.
Right.
So that's always something that you can think about if you want to help out with that. But we would love to have you have a table there again.
Okay, we've got to think about it and get back to each other. Is there any other question or any comment to Tammy? We certainly thank her for all the work.
This has been I'm really glad I am a spreadsheet girl because keeping track of everything that was going on, and contacts, and who needed what, and even doing the warrants and everything. It was great because I would send information down on a warrant, and then Chris would come back and say, I signed that one. It's like, okay, good.
Thank you for all your help.
Thank you. We would not have been able to do it without your help. Restoring this building we can't wait for the grand opening for all of you to see how much has gone into this place and what we've been able to fix up inside so far.
Great.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you. So is there anything else for Tammy? If not, we need to go on to some of our other things. Let me see. We could probably go to the minutes of our last meeting, and if you got them from Janet.
Do you want me to share? I can share them.
Can you put them up?
Hope so.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, there they are.
Thank you.
I don't know if you've all had a chance to read them, so I'll give you a minute or so.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's fine. They look good.
Does anyone notice anything that they would like to comment on or change? If not, I'd like to hear a motion to accept them.
I move to accept as written.
I'll second.
Okay, any comments? All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Palmer.
Also bye.
Pardon me, does
Bye-bye.
Francine need to abstain?
Why?
She wasn't here.
Oh,
Yes, that's right.
Did everyone vote? I lost voices there. Are there any abstentions?
Yes, me.
Okay. Any negative votes? If not, we'll accept them and go on to our next thing. Cindy, do you have anything more on that land?
No. Let me report back to you that thank you, CPC, for approving some money for the payment of an appraisal. I have approached the landowners yet again. They told me in a previous email that they were not ready to make any decision. Nonetheless, I approached them again, and I still haven't gotten a response back. And I think it's in their court right now. So as of right now, I don't believe we are going to need the money, but I'm giving it about 2 more weeks. So I'm not totally withdrawing the request at this point. So that's the status on that.
Okay. Let me see. Well, let's move on. I don't know if you were able to get the information about the, it's the aquifer education, I guess I'll call it.
I can bring those documents up for you, okay? So do you want me to kind of explain a little bit, you guys, again?
You would.
So this is a project that was supported by an LTD grant, which was contributed to through Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. So the costs heretofore are 100% paid for in terms of the development of this map. And there's another document. You don't have to study this. This is the location of the aquifer with some important landmarks within our town, that, and the aquifers in purple and the blue are other sort of watershed wetland areas that are important. So and it also includes our town hall, Center Cemetery, William Norris School. I'm going to not delete it. I'm going to stop on that one and go to the next one. This backside, hold on here. The backside of this document is meant to have best practices. And this was also supported through LTD grant of Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. And this is just a layout. This is not the final. This is the final wording, but the point is it has to be laid out. And the idea is that this is on one side, and it goes on 2 pages here, but I don't think it'll remain on 2 pages. And the map is on the other side. And the idea is for this to be mailed out to every household in the town at this point. The application, and by the way, this is all through the Open Space Committee. Charlie McDonald has spearheaded the whole thing, but let's see here, where's this? Got to find the right document. This is the application. Charlie has spearheaded it. He thought he was going to try to come in around 6 o'clock tonight to join this meeting. I don't happen to see him because he had some guests and he couldn't make it before 6 p.m. But I told him that both Janet and I would be here. So if you want to add anything, Janet, by all means. But here's the application. It does talk about exactly what I just said. And it does include some of the wording from the actual brochure. And it talks about the importance of why we would want to advertise best practices. The timeline would complete it in 2021. And he has, and I will show you the quotes. He's gone out and he's got a minimum of 3 quotes. He's gotten more than 3. It's based on 2,500 pieces. It could be a little short of the number we need, but so therefore the request is to have up to $3,000 for the payment of the printing, the layout, the envelopes if we use them, and the postage, and also the folding and all of that. And so that we request from CPC. And I believe it's requested to go to town meeting unless you think this could be covered under an administrative request and not have to go to town meeting. But we can talk about that in just a second. Let me get you the actual quotes, and you tell us how you want to do this. Final document here. Here they are. Okay. So the brochure would be either an 8.5 inch by 10, 8 inch by 10.5 inches or 9 by 8.5 inches. And it would fit into a number 9 envelope. And there's the choice of envelope versus no envelope. I do think we're leaning towards envelopes because it isn't such a mailer that would accommodate an address section on it. So consequently, we're looking to get envelopes to go with it. The 4 quotes that you should be looking at here is the first one, Latka printing. And that came in, and this includes layout, color printing on both sides, finishing, envelopes with pre-printed return address, nonprofit postage based on 2,500 pieces, unless otherwise noted. And that came out to just about $2,800. Paradise, same, came out less, a little closer to 2,500. ProMark is not interested in doing envelopes or postage. That isn't what they want to get into. So we almost should avoid them. If we did choose them, you'd have to add another $1,120 to it. So it's a little bit lower, but it's a little more onerous. And I think, did Charlie just show up? Did I see him on there? Hi, Charlie.
I'm here.
Hi, Charlie. I'm launching in. Okay. Can you see this on the screen?
No. Oh, yes, maybe I can now. Oh, yeah, that looks familiar.
Okay.
How you doing? Hi, Virginia.
Hello.
Haven't seen you in a long time.
Oh.
I'm still around.
I guess that's good.
Yeah, hanging in there.
And you're busy, I see.
Yes. Yeah.
I already credited you, Charlie, credited you for all the work that you did for the, coordinating this. Charlie had how many emails? 768 emails?
Well, something like that. But I'm used to that. I'm a veteran. I'm a refugee from a number of committees in the Southampton area.
Okay. So we're talking about Latka, Paradise, Marcus, and Hadley printing.
Yeah.
And I think you told me that Hadley had, am I right about this? That Hadley had the no envelope. Did you think that this would work with no envelopes, which included?
I think so. I think we have to address it again in our meeting. The interesting, going in and off, the interesting thing is, in all this exercise is how much is the postage? And Hadley seems to have a system where they're going to be able to get it out as a bulk system, because I've had prices from about 20 cents to 32 cents per pamphlet. But I'm having a problem with my iPad here. But the Hadley seems to have a blanket, and they volunteered it. They volunteered it when in their estimate, and I called them on Monday, and they can do it. So they on their pamphlet, which is relatively cheap, there's a process in which the town of Southampton or the nonprofit or the Friends of the Southampton Committee, Open Space Committee, they can get a post office, what they call a ghost number. And if they want to do that, otherwise the cheapest way to go is Hadley Printing. They're going to volunteer their relatively cheap mailings. The difference between the various estimates are primarily mailing. So Hadley will come up with a a schematic and a cost that's more definitive than I know now. But I talked to them on Monday, and we're going after their standard their standard process. Anyway, that's the only thing that is a little bit ambiguous in some of these quotes. They range from about 32 cents per pack
Per piece.
Yes, 32 cents a piece, and down to 16, and I think Hadley is the cheapest. So, and it's easy to get that Hadley postage with their blanket system. I'm pressing buttons here all the time, trying to keep myself in communications, because I think I get canceled every once in a while. Does it make sense what I said?
You've been consistent. We've heard you the entire time. So your face doesn't show up, but we've heard your voice. So that's worked.
That's to the advantage.
Can I just mention something?
Yes.
Okay. We do mailings for the Friends of the Council on Aging. And each year, in order to get a bulk rate nonprofit, they call it an indicia, but anyway, that postmark, you have to pay like a $250 annual fee. So you need to factor that in, unless, of course, you're going to use somebody else's.
I think that's the point.
I'm not sure I understand how you can do that, but maybe you can. I don't know.
This is the same printer, Hadley, that sent out the mailing that I hope everybody in this group, Joy didn't have it the other day, but that one that's advertising the, it's called, it's in Our Nature, the one with the colorful brochure that I hope people got the other day. This is the same group, and they volunteered that, Francine. And I'm hearing from Charlie that they're volunteering it for this mailing too, so we don't have to pay the $250.
Good. Maybe we'll use Hadley from now on.
I don't know if they'll always volunteer it, but it worked this time. They have been superb in supporting our town. So I just want to add that they have just gone above and beyond. I don't know if they'll always be able to do so much for us, but let's cross our fingers. So
good.
Okay, a couple things. The question, first of all, we can't do this under the administrative, even if it is a low number. The administrative is very, very limited, and it's limited mainly to our use, not to other groups. Okay. But this is not that much, so I'm not worried about that. The second thing is, I think that, well, first of all, I've been advised not to use that up to a certain amount. Give the amount. Give it outright. And with the understanding that if you've got a little money left over at the end, you give it back to us. You're probably not going to come right out on any one of these quotes. But then you just turn it back in, and it goes back into whichever line we take it out of. We probably should use our open space, because under the listings in the, actually, I think it is in the Community Preservation Act, at least it's in the descriptive, is to preserve water sources. Right? And that's what we're doing, or you're doing.
Good.
So we would take it out of open space. I don't know why a good presentation at town meeting wouldn't get it passed. It's not a huge amount. we have the funds, and you're probably, in talking with them and finalizing, it might be a few dollars more or less one way. But if we were to decide as a committee tonight and pass this, it would be on the warrant for the town meeting. And I think it sounds great myself. So, you know, that's a few things to think about. And I wouldn't be against putting this, maybe even a little more than 3,000, just in case you discover you've got more items that you need to mail. My guess is that may not be enough, but I haven't, somebody could probably tell you the household numbers, Lucy.
Yep, we know it. We know it.
Yeah, and look at that and go for it.
Yeah, just a little bit that I've been able to read here the first time I'm seeing the information. I think is terrific and really important. I think it's a great document.
Yeah, the explanation is really well done.
Yes. Well, thank you. I should mention that Patty Gambarini in PVPC would like to encourage Easthampton and Westfield to come up with a similar document with their appropriate Barnes Aquifer map to encourage the preservation of the water supply.
Good.
So it might be, once we're successful in printing this up, be expanded to neighboring towns.
Well, we've worked with Easthampton, of course, on that purchase to protect part of the aquifer. And a few years ago, and they seemed at that time very interested in their water source.
Yes.
So
it's very critical.
You know.
So do you think a good number, this is a question to Charlie, so that the committee can vote tonight. Do you think if we suggested it be 3,200, that, and again, with the idea that if we didn't need it, it would not, you know, we'd return whatever money wasn't spent? Does that sound good to you, Charlie?
I'd aim for 3,500. I'd aim for 3,500, just to be careful.
Okay.
Because I think these people I've talked to, there's about 20 elements of their estimate. And I would assume once we get into the nuts and bolts of a particular printer, there may be a lot of perturbations. 3,500 would be great.
And you might want to send them to some businesses also.
Hey, Bob. Yes, absolutely. I think April would very much like to see this distributed not only to the residents, but to real estate agents who are selling property in Southampton.
Right.
Yeah, good.
So
actually, maybe they might contribute to the cost of it.
Well, I would think that any exercise with neighboring towns, they'd have to adopt it in their specific open space or conservation committee group, and they would assume, with maybe some LTA support from Pioneer Valley, to develop their own map, because the map is the most complicated thing. Everything that's written on this would-be pamphlet is in the health department right now. There's nothing too, exotic about it. It wasn't something. The initial paragraphs Patty developed, they're very useful, and they're very tell what we're doing, the objective of the pamphlet. But the fact is, that information has been available to the residents, but with the map, a good-looking map that's on paper, that's like a business card. It's something more substantial coming in the mail. Hopefully, the idea is that the residents would hold on to it. So they have instructions as well as a nice map of where the aquifer is in the town.
Good.
I'm finished.
Anybody got any questions or comments? Okay, what are we going to do with it?
Well, we probably need a motion, Virginia, don't we?
I know, that's what I'm asking for.
Let's see. Move that we approve $3,500 from the
Open space
fund for use in printing aquifer information and mailing to town residents.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, any other comments?
You do note that Joy stepped away for a moment. Do you see that in the chat?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, she's back. Great. Great.
Sorry, didn't miss that.
Okay. If not, we're ready to go to vote. It would be good if you voted and gave your name. So those in favor.
I, Piper.
Oh, yes.
Aye.
Fishman, aye.
Hi, Brown.
Anyone else?
You.
Well, I usually don't vote, but I will say I like this, so a hard aye.
Great.
Okay.
Do we need to say, pardon me, do we need to say that excess funds would be returned to the committee?
To what?
In the motion, do we need to say any leftover funds would be returned to the committee?
No, that's automatic.
That's understood.
Would
Okay,
be automatic.
thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure I've got anything else on this except one thing to indicate to you, and then I'll mention the next meeting. We have this one now, and we have one other, the money for the matching part of Manhan Meadows, 50,000 on that. That will be on the warrant. I will not be available to be at the annual town meeting. Therefore, people who are involved in these need to be ready to get up and speak, because I don't know who's going to read it, probably one of the select board. And then Robert usually asks who will speak for this. And you need to be ready with that. There's nothing I can do about this. I'm not going to ask my grandson to change his wedding date.
He may change his mind on his own.
And I think it's about the same time of the day.
Yeah.
And it's outdoors, but I can't do anything more than that. Things are exciting, and we're kind of in a little bit of a turmoil, and with everything going on. But as soon as they started talking about the date for the annual town meeting, I knew what was going to happen. There's a shower this Saturday, and I knew that is blocked from keeping me from another item that I'm supposed to be at. And I said, nope, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the 12th. They're going to pick the 12th. And they did. And I'm not even going to say I'll be thinking about you.
Virginia, if I may, I'm a little bit concerned that we have not had any financial reports as to what we're indebted for, where we stand. Is there any way, I don't even know who's doing the accounting in town these days, but is there any way to get a report sent to us so that we know before the town meeting where our finances sit?
Yeah.
It's really hard to argue to the town to vote on paying for something through CPC if we don't know what's in the fund.
Exactly.
Well,
although I'll do it, I'm going to do it because I know Manhan Meadows in the project, but it's a lot easier when you have firm numbers in front of people.
Firm numbers. I can ask again. The thing is, of course, they've got somebody new in there. She apparently has been working out very well, but I think she's just an interim. Although they've been pleased with her, I know they're still looking for a full-time person, as far as I know.
Yes, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
The thing of it is, it's a separate account, and I can't believe that whoever is doing these things, and I'm appreciative of the fact that there's only so much it can do in the course of a day, but it's hopefully it's being kept up, and it's probably a simple thing to either print out and mail or forward to this committee.
So let me add something, Virginia, because I have to deal with the interim accountant, Regina, her name is, for two reasons, for the almoners and also for the Open Space Committee. I asked for an accounting of the almoners account, and she got it back to me right away. So I think if you, she did have to catch up a little bit, naturally. I think if you re-requested it, that you might get a current accounting in pretty short order. She seems extremely organized. That was my experience with her.
Well,
So
I did get one earlier, and I don't think we've had any activity since then. But,
okay.
You know, I'm not sure this is up to date either. But
I have one from March 26th.
Okay.
This year?
Okay, yes, that I can just copy out the section and send it to you and to Janet, and if she wants, you can send it out with your minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah, it would be very helpful.
Because she's, oh, yes. I'm looking at, yeah, it looks like CPC in total has a balance of 2.2 million and change. And so I can just get this page out to you, and everybody can see the balance in each of the discrete, the expenses and the balance in each discrete line item.
Okay, that would be great. I hate to bother them.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
But it's the same document. I mean, it's probably what you would get anyway. So I'll just send it to you.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that that needs to come before us?
Can I make an announcement, reminder for those of you, and I think everybody here knows that there's a public hearing at 7 o'clock tonight. It's a public hearing being sponsored by the planning board, and it relates to a zone change request. So if anybody needs the Zoom numbers, I can read them out to you, or you can find them on my town government.
Hey, buddy. Good. Okay, I'm going to have to leave the meeting. I have some company still here, and I have a dog trying to encourage me to leave too. So thank you for the support. I'm looking forward to completing this project, and I understand that we've gotten some money for the Greenway. I'm a refugee from that committee also, so that's some good news. So, okay, if I leave, I'm going to take care. Thank you for the help.
Stay safe,
Charlie.
All right, take care.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, just want to kind of remind people that at the present time, we cannot give money toward buying or purchasing or whatever you want to call it, the Greenway. That article or the item that was introduced into the House in Massachusetts has not gone anywhere. It's sitting in a committee, and it's been there for over, it'd have to be reintroduced anyway because the cycle was up. And generally when a committee in Congress or state government sits on an item like that, it means that they're not going to bring it out. Somebody on the committee is not in favor of it, my guess is.
When the time comes, and I'm always optimistic, when we actually do acquire the land, could CPC money be used for other parts of the project, such as the trail development? Or do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. We had given money before, and it was used for planning purposes, and getting checking deeds and all that kind of thing. And that was okay. But then they came up and said, no, because it's only a lease. You can't, money can't be used to purchase it. But whether we could do work on it, I don't know. We would have to find that out.
I don't know for sure, but there might even still be some money from that original appropriation in that account. That's another reason for getting a report. But I could be wrong about that. But the last time I remember, there was something left over. There
is some money in that. In fact, Chris Fowles just asked me about it this week.
Oh, okay.
She wondered why it was such a strange number. And I said, well, because they spent some of it. It didn't look like the number you would vote on.
Yeah.
And I said, well, they used some of it, but I have no idea about if you could actually, or whether they can even use that up. I'm sure they can use that up. I don't know.
I have to get going, but I will not be at our next meeting. I'm in a trial all that week, so.
Ooh.
But I will see you all around town and definitely at the town meeting. Thank you.
Hey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We could have a motion to adjourn anyway, I think, unless somebody's got something.
Move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, those in favor?
Goes bye.
Brown, yes.
Palmer, yes.
Tishman, aye.
Ahart, aye. I guess that's enough. Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
See you a little while, Cindy. Bye.
Bye.